we know that we have an audience of folks that have played lots of Diablo and are looking for a challenge.
That's us,
and
guys.
So our second World Tier 2, and our first World Tier
What?
are available
World Tier.
from level 1 when you first start playing the game, and you can select among them based on the amount of challenge that you want. And you can select, so the first tier adventure mode.
Oh, wait, because there's no context. They just jump it. So world tiers like in Diablo 3? I thought that mechanic was super bad. Torment levels, right? It's Torment, no? Yeah, Torment 1, Torment 2, okay. So they have Torments in Diablo 4 too? I know, dude. I was like kind of positive about the game. I don't like this mechanic. Dude, I didn't know about this. It's the first time I know about this. What the hell? Like, to me, a video game must have more than an online game. Why you have difficulties in an online game? Just have one difficulty, and then you can have hardcore if you want, like in PoE. They have put one difficulty to be fair in PoE, then they talk about a extra difficulty mode, but it's just an alternative mode. Like, what do you have different difficulties inside an online world? I don't get that. I don't get it at all. Okay, let's hear about it. I don't like this. This is the first time I hear this mechanic that obviously is from Diablo 3. I was very positive about the game, and I should move myself, by the way, sorry. Maybe it's too far away, but we'll see.
New to Diablo, or people who just want to enjoy the story and not worry about the combat too much. You know, it's always a drag when you're engaged in the events that are happening and then you like die 10 times in a row. It really takes you out of that experience, right? So it's good to have that kind of.
They're gonna make it super easy then. This looks like you get that 10 times in a row in a Blizzard game. You have issues, dude. You have real issues. Either your controller is not working, or I don't know, man. Or you know you're busy with your kids running around your living room, because 10 times. Are they gonna make that level 0, right? Level 0. They're gonna make it super casual then. Oof, man. I'm not liking this. All we've been hearing about Diablo 4 has been positive. I was like, holy shit, actually, maybe they pull a Diablo with an endgame. And that makes sense. I like the dungeons. The Paragon is copying PoE. I love that. And then they come back with the Torment. A game, like I was saying before, a game should have just one difficulty more than it's an online game, right? One difficulty, the mods, hardcore, softcore, self-found if you want. But one difficulty should be, because difficulty is a way of having a narrative inside the game. Like in Dark Souls, right? A lot of people are like, well, Dark Souls needs an easy mode. A lot of journalists, right? I mean, journalists that talk about Dark Souls that they needing an easy difficulty. No, because Dark Souls being hard makes it so the rewards feel better, and me, like it's the experience of the game already. Like Dark Souls is different from other games because of that. When it came out, people were talking, an old school game that doesn't fuck around and has difficulty, and people were very interested into that because of that, precisely the difficulty. Like you remove the Dark Souls difficulty, what does it have? Yeah, it has lore in the background, but it's not the same. Like it's not like a God of War that has other things. So yeah, I don't like when a game has multiple difficulties. I'm more like in Diablo 3 they had so many templates. Like in Diablo 3 you could argue it's part of the core of the adventure mode, but yeah, I don't like it. Just let me have one difficulty during the leveling, and then the end game, right? That the skills.
Mode, but for people who looking for more of a challenge, we have that second.
No, it's the one that never mind. It's the one that looked like for a challenge. Never mind.
Get up to level 50.
Maybe he didn't want to say hardcore or something like that.
And you start.
Was trying to look for another word.
Later levels, because of course you can go up to level 100 is our level cap.
Wait, level 100?
World tiers, and those work somewhat more like the Diablo 3 world tiers.
Oh my, 100 levels?
Work. In that,
it's Paragon over again.
Is progressing.
It's the Paragon Rifts, or the Rift Salon, I don't know how they call it. Rifts, right?
Efficiency. You're gonna progress up through those world tiers.
100 levels.
Set effectively how your kill.
They're doing it again, dude.
The
You maniacs.
rate of loot acquisition, and as you get up into those later world tiers too, in Diablo 4, you're going to get access to sacred.
Dude, I'm shocked. I didn't expect this.
Tiers, which are higher tiers of items.
I wasn't expecting this. Dude, I wasn't expecting this. They're doing it again. They're bringing the rifts again, but inside the story mode, so you cannot just... No, you're gonna do it. There's no way of doing something else. I mean, Diablo 3 doesn't have anything else, but... Holy shit, dude, they're doing it again. And of course, to get to 100 level, you're gonna have a scaling. To have hard scale. They've been mentioning that the items won't have a lot of relevance. It's gonna be more the paragons levels, which I think is, I guess it's an improvement, right? It doesn't look that bad. Increase damage deal by 27, by soul damage. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. And if they want to make more tiers later on, they're gonna need to bring a power level. They're gonna need to bring power creep. Like, yeah, maybe it's not gonna be as bad as Diablo 3 because they're adding the paragon levels that are like it's like a tree, like a PoE tree, but for endgame, where you're gonna start putting bonuses and combining spells, perks, so you get stronger. But it's gonna be the same problem at the end, because you need to scale up to 100 levels. There are gonna be few abilities that can do that. Because I won't believe that every ability is as good as the others. They all scale perfectly to 100. We know what happened in Diablo 3. We knew, right? Like, some classes were like struggling, and the rest was like, no, this is easy. Bring Diablo 4 already, right? The first week of Diablo 3, like, yeah, I'm not liking it. So what they're doing is Diablo 3 style of scaling, okay? But they're dividing the power creep of the items with the paragon level tree, in between the paragon level tree and the items. But still, 27% more damage, 26% more damage, 25 faster. Deal less, but still it's a strong power creep considering this is the vanilla game. This is the start of the game. Once there's expansions and stuff, they're gonna have a lot of expansions because that's the monetary model. I'm a bit worried. I wasn't expecting this. I'm worried. I'm legit worried. Increased duration of defense skills 40%. Meteor 45 critical strike damage. Oh no, critical strike damage again. Vulnerable targets. That looks like a debuff, right? You put on. You already fuck up before you get out. Yeah, dude, why you put ward levels? I don't ward tiers, man. Why? They do it again, dude. They do it again. BCC, exactly. They were mentioned that, like, no, you die 10 times. Who dies 10 times in a row in a Blizzard game? Since when? Since when you die 10 times in a row? Not even the StarCraft 1 campaign, dude. That was technically hard consider the other games in Blizzard. Who dies 10 times in a row in Diablo 3? So, and then the other ones, you look for a challenge. Like, that's the problem nowadays. Easy is the tutorial of all games. Normal is the easy of all their games. And hard is the normal of all their games. An easy normal. An easy hard, rather. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, easy is like tutorial. Don't even dare to play that unless you just want to have a cinematic experience. Normal is easy, and hard is normal, and an easy normal, actually, right? And I'm worried now. I'm super worried, dude.
More exciting stuff. There's even a few.
That's what you say, man. The normal, if you
reserve for those later.
Let me read more items. Skill of the Blind Bringer, defense, max life, elite damage reduction. They go again with the perks of Diablo 3, man. I think we saw some of these items before. Like, I saw some items. I made a video about some items back when Diablo 4 started posting items, and I was worried about the scaling already. Extend 100 for 27% of the total damage dealt to the target once it expires. And probably you have some perks that your poisons last less but do more damage or something like that. I'm worried, dude. All the stats 13, 6% melee damage, critical strike damage. When your game deals damage, the chance to automatically cast tornado the target for free. typical cool ability that probably is trash. I'm saying this item is gonna be trash right away. Maybe it's meta without knowing anything about the game. Now 22, 51, dodge stance, damage reduction. I like damage reduction as a perk. I'm a hardcore player after all, right? Poison enemies hit with your Lancer out of trance instantly deal 20% of the remaining damage to all area enemies. For Druid, there's the thing, right? And this is for anyone. I like this. I don't like this only for Druid. I mean, this has Hurricane. I get it. But why? I mean, it has Lancerate or Trash. But why? Poison enemies hit by your poison abilities instant deal 10%, right? Or poison physical abilities, so you don't make it so it's every poison ability, but I'm not liking this already.
And in a game that's like its core loop of Diablo is about progression, having a way to measure your progression through world
not again, dude.
It's like through torment level.
Not again, dude. Like, but that's what I'm saying. You guys,
that idea that
I've been telling you so, guys. I've been telling you that their game, the best they could deliver for Diablo 3 was Diablo 3. It wasn't a mistake. It was like, fuck, I wanted to make Diablo 2.5, but hey, I make Diablo 3. No. Diablo 3 was the best Blizzard could make back in the day. Sure, maybe they have more time or more budget. Perhaps, who knows what they could have made, right? But after considering all the expansion they release, all the extra content release, you hold Diablo 3, right? Like once finished over the years. That's the best Blizzard wanted to make. Was Blizzard wanted to make, and that's what Blizzard could make. And we're seeing it now. Like Diablo 4, they tell you they catch you with Ace. It looks like Diablo 2. On the other hand, they're giving you Diablo 3, right? It's like the trick with the babies to eat their soap. Like they're flying with the meal they don't want to eat, and they're like boom, and they introduce in the mouth whenever they're being full. This is the same. You don't want Diablo 3, you don't want to, right? You're like this, and then your Mama Blizzard fools you with the flying Diablo 4, and it puts it in your mouth. Oh my god, man.
as you become more powerful, you want to challenge yourself. And then by challenging yourself, you get better loot, which means you get more powerful.
By challenge yourself, you play PoE.
And so you kind of get into this, you want to be able
and
to have that experience. And Diablo really shines when you find that sweet spot.
I just want good gameplay, a good game, man.
I don't want underpowered.
I don't want endless scaling, mindless scaling. I don't want that, dude, in a Diablo game.
You get that amazing drop. Now you're kind of into it. And then you get another amazing. Now you're overpowered.
At least they have corpses.
So now you need to ratchet up the.
This is Diablo 3.
Now you're slightly.
This is Diablo 3, but you know, with the two biggest fuck ups, that was the Necro design and the fucking endgame that have rifts only. Those they're getting fixed, right? But you have the same type of scaling. You have. Well, it's Diablo 3.5.
Again, you get into your sweet spot.
Let's hear one good new, okay? Let's find one good new on this video.
Progression in Diablo, and that's what the world.
The spider, no, the spider, the snake looks good, right?
World Tier 1, and you feel like I'm unstoppable.
Ooh, spin to win.
That's really interesting anymore in terms of combat or loot.
Sorry because I'm moving,
guys.
There's
a place to go to test yourself and get better loot against more challenging foes, and then same thing and go again, and so
same thing again,
like
and again,
and
again for 100 levels.
Allow that player that feeling of progression all the time. So
he says it, man. It's not me.
3 are the world tiers.
If this is how you're selling the game,
really allow that player that feeling of progression all the time.
So progression, guys. The reward of progression.
Let me just add to that.
That feeling of progression all the time. That
when it says and again
and get better loot against more challenging foes.
More challenging.
Same thing and go again.
World 50, World 51, and again, and again.
Tiers and D4 really allow that player that feeling of progression.
Oh, Blither, man.
So constantly growing.
Riot Games is gonna eat you alive, Blither.
Add to that on the later world tiers, we saw an opportunity to.
So they have tournaments too in Diablo Immortal. I didn't even remember that or know that.
That the world tiers culminate in, as it were. So at the end of, tiers 3, 4, and 5, there's a boss that you can. So
at the end of the rift, there is a boss. We call it the boss rift. No, Super, there is Diablo 4. Oh, sorry, it's Diablo 4. Sorry, yeah. It's not a boss rift. It's a war boss, right? It's completely different. Completely different, right?
defeat in order to unlock the next.
Might
world
be.
tier. And in
It also might be, okay.
The last world tier, where you can gear all the way up to 100, has a boss at the end of it, which is extremely difficult, and that really provides something to stand up against with all of your optimized gear and say like, all right, this is what I've been building toward, you know.
Lot of loots, lot of
Like I
flashy.
just talked about. I love that testing moment. You
I
know,
like this thick. This is like Duriel, no?
D3, you can change.
Look at
the
the
game
ass.
anytime
Look
from
at the ass
early,
of
you
that
just go to
bug.
March and you switch your
That's fucking
difficulty.
thick, dude.
But that
Well,
idea
another good new, okay?
again, one of the reasons you become more powerful is to test yourself against.
The boss
other
design is
challenges,
good.
so
It's
that notion
thick.
That there's essentially.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Preventing you from.
But I want
tier
this.
3, and you have to prevent.
I want this guy to be super hard all the time, always super hard. I don't get there in World Tier 2, just one-shotted with one ability just because I got 2 items, and then I do it again World 3, I do it again in World 4, and that's why I'm saying with the narrative. This event is gonna lose power because the difficulty is a scale. If this was a World 100 tier of difficulty, always you will have to progress naturally, but it will feel more natural, and you will be like, okay, I need to kill all these bosses, then this other boss, then you lock this other area, then you can do these dungeons, then you can do the next tier of dungeons, and then you are prepared and you're like, okay, I'm gonna fight this boss and kill it and get the rewards, and that feels more rewarding than just killing this guy. Maybe it's not all the world tiers, but maybe, you know, how he said world tier, I don't know, the last 50 maybe is when you unlock this guy, but it loses the power of an event like this. Look how well designed it is, dude. Look how the guy is designed. And you're gonna waste that potential.
A gatekeeper.
Look at the guy looks amazing,
preventing
man.
you from World Tier 3, and you have to.
Are you gonna need to farm this guy?
ability,
No.
And then you feel good.
It's not
about
like
your next-
in Diablo 2, sure, you farm Mephisto all the time, right? But you're Mephisto Nightmare. You're like, okay, I'm gonna get some gear, blah blah, right? And then when you're ready, you say, okay, I'm gonna power farm Mephisto in hell. You're not like farming Mephisto in normal at level 10, then at level 20, and at level 13, and at level 40. No. You have a progression. Even that Diablo 2 has a very old style type of progression. And this one, yeah, you're gonna
Okay,
farm
I
this
can
for
beat that
550
boss,
world
I'm ready for
tiers.
Tier 3, and I can go into it
So
with some
the first time it's gonna look cool, and the
I
other
like
49 is
that.
gonna be like,
Because again,
no, I've done this
especially the
already.
idea, like when
So,
Diablo,
I wouldn't mind if it's different, right? Like, am I crazy? It's different. It's not the same killing this guy level 50, then 51, 52, 53, that killing at 100 and doing it 50 times. It's not the same. It loses because you've been wanting, you've been preparing until that difficulty, right? And obviously there won't be world tiers, right? You remove all that. You just have that same difficulty, but in different instances, different mechanics of the game. The dungeons keep scaling, but you don't call it world tiers. They just scale because this dungeon is harder than this other dungeon, and so on. Or have tiers of dungeons, but this world system, man, is gonna ruin these events.
is going to have such a
That
rich
looks so
endgame.
cool.
We're getting ready for our endgame beta, and there's so much to do from end of campaign to kind of getting to level 100. But knowing that out there is this level 100 boss waiting for you to get to the end of the end game, like that's something that's really going to motivate a lot of players. I know it motivates me to be able to go, if there's one thing I'm going to do in this game is I'm going to defeat the 100 boss. And so, and fortunately we have a lot of great ways through.
Will motivate me more instead of killing a 100 level Rift boss, because it's a Rift boss. Don't care that changing a little bit the mechanics. Will motivate me that you can. This is the end game boss. This is Lilith. Kill Lilith from the start. It's not the 100 boss. It's Lilith, right?
Fight.
At least I don't wanna feel like on rails.
Just that idea of getting into that world.
Even that Diablo is
progression, that movement,
an on-rail game.
Going towards something, and you beat that.
Yeah, it's like showing the camera
you get that new
that you're
view,
recording with
it's
in a
makes
movie.
a build possible, so that you can actually go and because you always have that power fantasy. Like that's what I guess back to what makes Diablo is everybody has a core power fantasy, and some people it's class based where I'm board and sword, I'm a barbarian, or
I'm a Thorns Paladin.
druid or what have you.
That's one of the
But
biggest power fantasy.
when you
It's
try to go
kind
in
of
and you're
kinky,
like,
actually.
okay, how do I play into that fantasy? Like
More than
what
fantasy, it's like
legendaries
a
do I need? What
sexual
skills do I
thing,
need? How does
actually.
my tree play out? How does my
The Thorns
paradigm play out?
Paladin.
Like how do I build for
I like
that?
this.
And that's one of the things.
I like this a lot. This is what makes me positive. It's the PoE tree, right? But change, and they call it Paragon, so they can say, hey, we didn't copy it. No, it's not PoE. It has the name of Paragon, that's from last game, right? Obviously, it's PoE.
Towards that.
But I like this style, like in all RPGs. All RPGs, not RPGs. RPGs. I don't know, man. I like
One of the things
this.
I really love about D4 is that
So it fucking sucks they're gonna do like the world tiers again.
I think more than any of the previous Diablo
Oh, no,
games,
man.
there's just so much more.
I
choice
fucking
of
love
how
this,
you
and
do
it
impact
sucks they're gonna have
that.
the
So from what does
the
your
torment
barbarian
levels
look
again,
like,
man.
What does your sorceress look like?
Ooh.
You know, what are the skills that you're using and how you're
Big
leveraging
boy.
them. The fact that you can pull legendary like affixes or abilities.
Let me read.
often-
Fury skills, more damage. Every second you have used a Fury skill. Up to 20. It's the same scaling than Diablo 3. But it doesn't have 100 or 1000. Why? Because you have 24 here and you will have like another scaling that multiplies in the Paragon levels. But it's the same scaling.
Something else I want on my boots that's going to make this amplified in a way that you've never seen before, because you've never had that freedom before. And that's what I think is really cool, that from all those choices, that it's really going to feel like your power fantasy. It's your class, your character, your build. And even if we both play barbarians, they're both going to look very different. We're going to have very
We'll see about
builds.
that. It's always our
And we
best.
play very differently because of
Yeah, it's always a mega
skills
beast.
and the immense paragon.
But yeah, I
boards
love
that we
these,
can,
dude.
like,
I
you know,
fucking love
choose our
these.
path through those, which is going to be very different.
And then
from-
putting so much
Whereas
effort.
legendaries is a big
Because, yeah, just remove world tiers. Just remove the going one to just have different dungeons, different bosses, and you just need to kill them. I don't know why they have to go for the torment again, man.
Typically, you go to
That makes the early levels
like, okay, blues are cool, yellow
irrelevant.
Okay, I got my orange, I got my legendary. But now that you have this a great
And the rest
affix that
is
you really love, like I want an
the
extra
progression feels very
stealthy
weird.
mage to be a part of my army.
very
and I can put
artificial,
that
right?
on
It's gonna be
legendary,
artificial,
and
it's a
if
video
you
game,
pick
but
legendary, that really gives the player control, you know, and
nice setups, though.
ability to figure out how to.
yeah,
best
it must be
optimize
very
the
cool
build.
to play with by to design this game and work on that, but we don't know, right? Anything could happen. Maybe that game fucking rocks. But this is definitely bad news. This is definitely bad news.
He's a sweet soul brother, sweet soul brother. He's a sweet